All right, so this is my tier list for King of Fighters 95 for the Game Boy. Okay, so let's get started. This is a fun game. It's a lot of fun to play. There's a lot of characters that are kind of super janky. I don't think it's a really well balanced game, but it plays really well. Feels great on the Game Boy. I think it's definitely worth checking out if you're a Game Boy fan and just in general curious to see how things work out, making a fighting game for a handheld. I think it's definitely worthwhile. Okay, so at the very, very, very bottom, we're putting this guy. He's named wrong in the actual game. If you open up the character select menu for King of Fighters 95, you'll see they didn't even get his name right. Oh, I'll show you this real quick. Yeah, so in actuality, his name is supposed to start with an H. Heydern. I don't know how to pronounce it, but he's terrible. It's a problem. He just kind of doesn't have moves. They didn't give him really strong attacks. His normals are bad. He's got a projectile, but it's a charge projectile. Other characters in this game have like 6 projectiles. He's got a bad grab. Not very useful normals. Just sort of crappy. He's just sort of not worth playing. Okay, so after that we got our boy Billy Kane. Billy Kane's similar. One of the things that's good about Billy is that he's got one of the only actual, like, legit anti-airs in the entire game. He's got that cane thing that goes up at a 45-degree angle, which is pretty sweet. Or is it a pole? Who knows? He also has sort of extremely silly move where he pole vaults off the screen and disappears. It's not really useful for attacking, but maybe you could time people out with it. That could be pretty, sometimes you gotta win the Evo for King of Fighters 95 for the Game Boy. You need to time people out, so go with that pole move. Beyond that, his normals are not really, they don't really get the job done. And his damage output isn't really much to speak about either. But one of the things that's tough about him is his signature thing. His, like, extendo cane attack or whatever. It doesn't really even work because they end up being the worst projectiles in the entire game because they go really quite far, but you have to wait for the cane to, like, reassemble into one piece, and the whole time he just stands there. So if you whiff, you're rude. You just get punished. Really, really terrible. Athena, where are you? Where is Athena? I think she's this one. Smiling, happy looking girl. There we go. Okay, Athena's kind of tough too. I think Athena is maybe like the most tragic character in the game to play, because she's very, very close to having a full move kit and an interesting concept, an interesting niche in this game as like a mostly projectile zoner character, but it just really doesn't come together. Or the best thing that she has is she has a slow fireball that's actually unblockable. It has pretty good damage output overall compared to the other fireballs in the game, and it being unblockable is unique, but unfortunately for her, that's just kind of it. She's got this reflector move that's not really useful. It comes out, stays out forever, makes her really susceptible to getting punished. And there's just so many spammable fireballs in this game. It doesn't really matter if you've managed to reflect one. Yeah. And then beyond that, she's got low health. The rest of her moves do not a lot of damage. She's got a corner jump, like she can jump off the wall, which helps her with a little bit of mobility. But she's just sort of always on the run. And that being said, she also doesn't really have a good move to help get pressure off of her. If she gets cornered, it's kind of lights out for her. And then she actually has a few moves that I don't really understand why they're part of her kit. Like, she's got like this dive kick. Seems the only thing that it does is gets her murdered. So don't do it. Okay, so then we have Ninja Boy, Eiji. A lot of his moves are just bad. He's like Yuri, who I think is one of the better characters in the game. but he's but bad. So he's got low health. His moves don't really link in well together. He's sort of like you put together as like a ninja archetype where, you know, he gets in, does one attack, disappears, and then gets in, does one attack, and disappears. But the problem is that you're constantly having to win neutral in a game that doesn't have a ton of block stun and not any like huge plus moves to do it with. And because his damage output is not great and his health is so low, you don't really want to be in neutral for that many exchanges, right? You're just going to get exploded by a gigantic punch at some point, right? And that being said, like specials are just kind of, a lot of them are quite trash. His fireball is an advancing fireball, which is not really good for the archetype. Some of his specials have completely unusable hitboxes, like the Spirit Blast or the Shadow Slicer. You know, they come out, they have an active hitbox, and if you manage to block them, he just stands there and continues to do them. And you can walk right into the animation and just hit him over. That sucks. And he doesn't really have a good tool for getting out of the corner. He's got this one, like it's called like Shadow Sneak, I think. Or Shadow Attack. Shadow Sneak, I think. That where he can kind of like sort of teleports, so to speak. He doesn't actually teleport, but he goes, but you can grab him out of it, which is like, if anything, simplifies the rock paper scissors of corner pressure. So that's something. Got a wall jump, that's good. He has a few different, I think he has 3 different dash attacks. They're all kind of not good, as most dash attacks don't seem to be in this game. They're not really that usable because it's so easy just to respond with a block. But at least he can mix up which bad dash attack he's doing. Okay, so thing is 8. Next we're going with Joe. Joe is our kickboxer boy. Joe's got a game plan that can really work. If he corners you, he can really pile on a lot of damage really fast with some pummels, with some he's got a really high damage throw that he can pressure you with, and it throws you into the corner. Oh no, it doesn't. His throw resets you to full screen after he does the throw. It does a ton of damage, but you go back to full screen, so that's perplexing. But at least you can end, you know, your combo safely with that, right? He's got a few good tools to get in, like he's got the slide kick that goes underneath stuff and knocks you down, which is good. He's got a good dragon punch, which is awesome. He's got a flash kick as well, so he's got a lot of moves for keeping pressure off of him, getting rid of jump ins and like unsafe big hitboxes. But yeah, he doesn't have a very good projectile. And his super is pretty underwhelming. You'll not get him a chance to use it, and he doesn't really have a lot to say about his aerial game. Joe's not bad. He's just in a game of characters who are much better than him, if that makes sense. So after that, I'm going to put in Terry. Terry's a strong character for sure. A lot of the same problems as Joe. Like, he's got a good all-around kit. He's got, you know, a Dragon Punch-like move and Power Dunk. Got the Power Wave, which is a nice projectile. You can do it at 2 different speeds across the stream, which is handy. You know, he's got a good grab that starts up corner pressure, which Terry really likes. And in general, his like damage output is quite high, and he's got a good sack of health to him as well. But a lot of Terry's moves are really minus on block, super punishable. They just leave him hanging, and so if like you win and you start winning as Terry and you can keep the combo up, you can do a lot of damage, and you don't need to win neutral that many times. But in a game with zoners who's got great projectiles, and Terry doesn't have the best mobility, I think you're going to struggle. Above that, I'm putting Benny Maru. Where are you, Benny? So Benny, I don't think is a great character either. It's really just a matter of having an easier game plan to win with than Terry. Just has a few moves that are gonna get you easy hits a lot sooner, and just work through it in order to bust down the defenses of your opponent and eventually come out with a win. So lots of really good strong jump kits and a good dive kick. So lots of good abilities getting in, right? You can close a lot of space in this game with your aerials. And a really good get off me heavy kick that's completely safe on shield and is an anti-air. So Benny's got some really basic tools that will allow you both to get in and to get yourself space when you want. And they have a few of those like electric attacks that go vertically through the whole screen, which is handy because you don't need to think about the vertical space. You just have to think about horizontal spacing, right? So it's not a lot to think about while you're playing. And then there's a few good punches, like electric attacks that you can finish off combos with, which do good amounts of damage. The normals and everything like that, overall low damage output, but there's a simple game plan you can run with Benny that'll get you stocks, as it were. So the next one I'm going with is Kim. Let's find Kim just to be sure, so there's no flubs here. Yeah, there you go, Kim. Kim is in blue in the game. Well, cool. So Kim is a lot like Benny Maru in terms of like that great mediumness, but the difference is just good damage output. Kim hits hard, good mobility, great normals, good poke, quick jab, sweep that knocks down, a dive kick that's safe on block that does I think 3 hits if you land high, good chip damage, right? So it's safe, it's dependable. You've got a charge attack in the form of a kick that low profiles and go under fireball projectiles, and will cause knockdowns, which is good because Kim likes getting you in the corner. Got a good throw, just a regular old grab you, throw you forward, put you into the corner. It's good. You got no projectile. It's just a very honest character. It's like the most honest character in the game, I think, would be Kim. It's just you play a good neutral, you play good footsies, you get knockdowns, and you hit people hard, and you win matches that way. Where are you, Kensu? Kensu to the office, please. Kensu's right next to him on the select screen. Cool. So Kensu is, I'd think, a little bit better and sort of topping out C tier here than Kim, in that is another good all-around character, but without the requirement to be quite so honest. You can play a bit of a cheesier game plan, a little bit more frustrating, and then still get regular old throws and corner pressure as well. So it's a really good retreating fireball, a good retreating dragon punch, really usable aerials, both for advancing and backing off, right? There's a good standing neutral kick that pushes opponents off, and the advancing heavy kick aerial hits twice, does chip damage both times, and if the second hit lands even on block, it pushes, so it's safe to use, and then you can just retreat from there, right? So you have a nice easy push and pull sort of, and knock people out of the air if they're jumping at you. If they're blocking and you land on them, you push them back and you go back to throwing fireballs. They try to jump in on you, DP on, right? And the throw resets to a good medium range that plays to Kensu's game plan really well. So the downside to this character is their health isn't necessarily that fantastic. Their damage output is consistent, but there's no like big draw dropping hits. And pretty much all the normals push. The ones that knock down the low kick knock you down a little far. So pretty much every interaction with normals is going to push people back into the mid range, which works well for the game plan, but is a little bit predictable. So you're going to be playing the exact same neutral over and over again as and against Kensu. So there's that. All right. So the bottom of B tier, I put in Iori. Iori's got a really, really good. He also got his power sucked by Bao. Hey, how's it going, Flashy Flash? I'm not a King of Fighters lore master, so you're gonna have to tell me about the details. I'm just doing my matchups. I'm doing my tier list for King of Fighters 95 for the Game Boy. Oh baby, oh baby. It's been a lot of fun. Hi and welcome. Welcome. Yeah, if that makes any more sense here, I'll get rid of the window. Yeah, so King of Fighters 95 for the Game Boy. It was a lot of fun. It's a really good game. I recommend it. It's not balanced. It's got some jank, but if it plays really well, it feels good. It's yeah, it was a pleasure. Here, let's keep going. We're talking about Iori right now. Let's just get through this. Yeah, and Nakaruru is in this too, and is an absolutely it's a hilarious character to play. She's a lot of fun. That bird is ridiculous, but we're gonna get there. She's later in the tier list. So Iori's got really good damage output in the form of his Dragon Punch. It got invincibility at the beginning. He can do it from wake up. It does a ton of damage. It's really good. Having a character with like a basic move that's so useful in the kit that also does a ton of damage is really good in a game like this where you end up with so many knockdown situations. His forward heavy kick is a multi-hit move that's safe on block, which is really important because Iori wants to corner pressure you, and so it makes it easy and safe for him to advance on you. He's got a pretty regular projectile in terms of it's the same thing as like Terry's, right? It goes along the ground, but he's got it. It does good damage. It puts people into block stun. That's what you want. He's got okay aerials. He's basically like the same as Terry in this game, but he's just got a little bit more cheese that he can work with because the Dragon Punch is so cheap. His down points are that he's got a bad throw. It goes backwards in a weird way. Oh, Kentsu lost his fireballs. There you go. His fireballs are one of the things that make him so... Kentsu's fireballs are one of the things that make his game plan work so well in this. Just because... it's another retreating option, right? He can retreat fireball and retreat DP, and he's got like good aerials to work with, right? So he can really back off and still be aggressive, which is I think it works really well for the flow of this game. So yeah, I think he's like Terry, but just with a few better moves that do big output. You'll end up closing games a lot faster. Alrighty. So after this, we've got Kyu, sort of like our protagonist type of optimistic young man type situation. He's the Shoto, right? Shoto of the game. He's got one of his best moves is his Dragon Punch. It starts from down back, which is really good. It's great to have a defensive tool that starts in a guard position, right? So he doesn't really care about corner pressure in the same way that a lot of other characters in this game are bothered by. He's got really good normals. He's just got like a really good hit. You know, he's got a jab that's fast. He's got a light kick that pokes. He's good from footsies. He's got a good retreating heavy kick that works as an anti-air and an overhead. And his standing heavy kick is just sort of like a more aggressive poke. It's a good medium range tool, right? He has a full screen dash attack, which is kind of jokes. Pretty quick. It's hard to make those things land in this game, but there you go. It works for him. He also has a full screen anti-air attack that starts from back. So if he's retreating and you're trying to come in at him from the air, he can do a full screen anti-air. Oh yeah, it goes over low attacks. That's interesting. In this, the divide between the low game and the high game isn't always like that super good. One of the things about the game, like if you see I'll bring it up for you. The sprites are a little small in the game, right? So there's not a really clear definition between the high game and the mid game always, right? But there's definitely some moves that do do overcome low guard, for example, right? So his jumping heavy punch is one of these things, right? I got that hit in on Benimaru, even though they were crouch blocking, right? So it works. It's good to have. I find that in this version, the aerial game is really not that important. There we go. Yeah, the game the Game Boy version is definitely worth a play. It's a lot of fun, but yeah, in a certain sense, I wouldn't say the corners are cut, but certain choices in the design of the game were made in order to facilitate the game communicating its goals on a smaller screen. Do you get what I'm saying? You think that's a fine way of putting it? Also, check out Laser Cat. Anyways, that was fun. Okay. So yeah, what's the problem with Kyo though? Why is he only, if he's got all these good tools, why is he only in B? I think he's just too honest, and his damage output is relatively low for a character in this game, because you're about to see some nonsense. Okay, Ralph. Ralph is topping off at beginning of A tier. Ralph is the biggest cheese in the world. He's got a command grab from block that does 25%. So basically, anytime Ralph gets a block, he can just pop that command grab immediately for 25% of your life bar. It's just gone. It's just... Did Ralph block your move? That'll be 25%, please. He has an infinite that's just mashing the B button in his Vulcan punch, I think it's called, and it just kills you. It does chip damage, it pushes you back and advances as he punches, and it juggles you. So if it connects you and you block it, you just die. You just lose. Why is that? Only put Ralph at A if he's got a button that he mashes and you die. Well, he's got no projectile, he's slow as all hell, he's got really bad normals, and really no good approach tools. So he just needs that one hit though, and he'll win. But yeah, in the tier above there's going to be a lot of projectile spam. So even though Ralph has that stuff, oh boy. Ralph is like the knowledge check, the scrub killer in this game, right? He's the one that you're not allowed to play at your friend's birthday party, sort of vibes, right? Okay, so then we got Ryo. Where are you, Ryo? Remember what you look like? Yeah, this is Ryo, right? Yes, it should be. Okay, cool. Ryo. Ryo's like Kaio, but with just better tools in general. Just better normals, better specials. Yeah. Every game needs every game need. Oh, you're saying that Ralph is the gatekeeper in every single game, right? The dude with just some busted moves that unless you learn how to like jump over, you just never win. That's really fun to hear. This is the first King of Fighters game I've played. Up until now, I've mostly just been playing Street Fighter and Smash Bros. And I've started on this journey of playing every fighting game on the Game Boy. And boy, there have been some stinkers. If you want to see a really bad fighting game, you should check out, this is a game with an incredible name, but an actually terrible gameplay. It's called Fist of the North Star, Fist of the North Star, 10 Big Brawls for the King of the Universe game. Street Fighter, then move on to King of Fighters. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I'm having a good time. I'm having a good time playing. But yeah, I won't pretend to be an expert. Just an expert on this game. So yeah, Kaio's got great projectiles. He's got 6 different projectiles to work with. He's got 4 types of grounded fireballs. He's got an aerial fireball, and you can use the scorch meter to do another fireball. It's silly. There's fireballs everywhere, right? This is why Ralph is better, not as good as Kaio, because you just can't approach, because he's just getting obliterated by fireballs from every angle. He's got really good normals. He's got his crouching kick, comes out really fast and pushes you away. He's got a really quick jab that jabs you up, sets you up into other things. He's Got a good heavy punch that is safe on block, which is important to have because it helps him get in, right? And he's got this really good neutral jump heavy kick, which has more than one active hitbox. So if it hits your guard, it just pushes you out, and it's completely safe. And it gets you into range where he can hit you with a fireball. If you block the fireball, you take some chip damage, and then he throws you, right? It's pretty sucks. It was a nice little game plan. Yeah, his throws aren't very good, but whatever. You know, it's damage. And his DP has a strange input motion where anytime in this game you have to go from forward to back, right? Like 4 to 6 or 6 to 4. Just because of the way the D-pad works on the Game Boy, they just don't always come out great. So it's much less dependable DP than other characters, but with the 6 fireballs, he seems to manage. Okay, Sesuyusu, or whatever, however you say it, I think is best all-rounder. So he's one of those characters that you have to mash the select button in order to unlock and play. He's one of the bosses of the game. Second, well, like the mini boss or whatever before you fight Rugel. But yeah, his normals are good. They all do what you need them to do. His sweep kick comes up fast and knocks you down. His low kick pokes. His jabs are jabby. His heavy punch knocks you back. He's got an advancing projectile, which really helps him close space in, right? He can act really soon after throwing it. He's got a really good dragon punch that's completely safe on block, right? So you can throw it out for free, right? The only way to not get it is just to not get hit by it, right? So, I mean, if you're throwing dragon punches that miss, I don't know what you want from a fighting game. And all his aerials automatically space out for him, right? So if they hit, they hit. If they are blocked, they space. Because they push you back into the range you want to. And it's very easy to play in that way. It's quite forgivable. His forward throw does good damage, and it puts you into the corner. And he's got good endurance. He's got a strong life bar compared to other characters. And he doesn't really have any down spots, right? He's just like like the most solid character in the game. He's very honest, but just quite good. All right, so then we have Mai, or is it May? Mai? I forget. Weigh in, let me know. She's a character that I beat the game with for the first time, a single player. She's got a really good, really usable game plan that is going to get the goods. She's got the fan that goes at 2 different speeds. The slow fan is really, really slow, controls a ton of space forever, gives her a lot of mobility to control stage and pressure you however you want. Usually the way that ends up working for my playthrough is you throw slow fan. If they eat the fan, it opens up into another fan, or if they block, you get the grab, right? And then her grab throws you into the corner, and then she's at a great range to either try to oki you with DPs or back off and start throwing fans again. And it's just really oppressive. It's a really easy strategy to run as May, and she's got options for if you want to jump out. She's got some good aerials. And she's got a full screen dash attack that she does from blocking that also works in midair. So it's like she's a zoner, but she has the ability to close the entire screen in an instant if she wants to, right? Her grab has extremely low end lag as well. So while your opponent is still flying through the air and smashing onto the ground, you have full mobility and can decide exactly what spacing you want the situation to reset to. So it's really good. She doesn't have any really busted moves, and some of her normals aren't stellar. Like her little fan swats don't necessarily do a lot of damage or a lot of pushback. But everything that she's got supports her own game plan really well, and it's really easy to do it effectively and hard to overcome, I should say. Okay, so then here we got S tier. Yuri is the first character I'd put in S tier. She is wicked busted. She's got 6 different fireballs, including an aerial fireball. This fireballs come from every single angle. She has a command grab that does about 20% of your life bar, depending upon the health of the character. But like on an average health character, it does like 20%. So she has this stupid setup where she throws a fireball at you, and if you block it, you just get command grabbed. The command grab also goes full screen. Did I mention that? It's a dash attack. The full screen dash. So if you decide you're going to jump over the fireball and she does the command grab, she just passes right underneath you harmlessly, and then you're in the exact same position because you jumped over her and she's gone full screen, and it's time to play the fireball game again. Really, there's no reason to have to do any of her other moves. You can just play the entire game like that and time everybody out, and you'll win every single time. It's wicked busted. But that being said, she has other good moves. Like she's got a good low heavy kick it comes out really fast and it does knockdowns. She's a really useful dragon punch, which helps her get out of trouble if you do manage to corner her. Most of her normals are quite good too. They do the things that you would want them to. It's like a useful. She can be hit out of the grab. She totally can be hit out of the grab. It's true, but you have a fireball you got to deal with, right? So the fireballs in this game typically have a lot of block stun. So if you block the fireball, you're gonna be in hit stun by the time she arrives with the command grab. And there's very few characters have moves in the game that would be able to attack her on the dash command grab, but yet escape it. You would need to have a character with like one of those 45-degree fireballs who'd be able to time a jump and intercept her. Or you would need to have a character who would anticipate that she was going to fireball to meet the fireball and then fire another one. It's dumb easy to do, and there's the things that would beat it are way more execution heavy, and the things that would beat it are also not going to do 20% life bar, right? It's just silly. In the case if you get hit by the fireball, if you don't block it and then you get the grab, you're taking like 30% damage. She just needs to do that 3 times in order to beat you, right? It's kind of nuts. And she can still play the rest of the game, right? Her throw resets you to full screen. It throws you completely to the back edge, right? So all she needs to do is like wake up, block, throw, or something, right? Wake up, DP, do the RPS, get the grab, throw you full range, and then you're back playing the full range fireball command grab game, right? Which she only needs to win 3 times in order to get the KO, right? It's stupid. It's really busted. It's extremely broken. So it's like, yeah, I mean, there's definitely, like, in any situation, there's things that you can do to beat it, right? Obviously, there's no like single strategy that's completely 100% dumb easy, win every time. But the things that will beat it are 10 times harder to execute than her plan. And you'll have to do them twice as much. You'll have to beat her twice as many times in order to win, right? So then, second from the top, I'll put Rugal. Rugal has his damage, his super does like 60% of your life bar. It's just silly. It does so much. He's got things that can set up into it, right? He can get you into block stun with a projectile, or he can throw you down, get in a jab, and then connect it into the super, and then you just explode. It's like a bomb is going off. You just die. He's got good projectiles. His projectiles aren't great. They're like Terry's, but you know, they're completely usable. There's 2 No, I'm thinking of what's his face? The other guy. Rugal has the full range of fireballs. He doesn't have the aerial 45-degree one, but he's got the small guy and then the 3 wide guy. He's got a really good flash kick. It's good for escaping corner pressure. You can throw that out whenever you want. His throw is really good too. It's like worth like 25% of your bar, 20 to 25 depending upon the stamina of your character. If you're thinking about it, that like if you got a situation where he's got full meter, he gets you for a throw, and that's taking 25% of your life bar, and you get hit by the super, right? Like you're down to chip damage, or like he's already won off of one exchange, right? That being said, he also has a good health pool, right? He's higher than average, right? So you're gonna have to beat him quite a bit. And more than anything else, his game plan is just really super simple to do, right? You only need to win a couple of times for him to completely obliterate your health. And he's another one of those characters with just good normals. They just do all the stuff that you would want them to do. He's got a poke, he's got to get off me, he's got a knockdown, right? He's got an overhead. The downsides, he does have a couple. I put in the mat. He's got this useless reflector move in a game with so many easily spammable projectiles with reflectors that stay out forever and don't really do a lot of damage output. If you're reading a fireball, you're way better with Rugal. So just jump in, right? No sense in even using it. It's a liability. Every 10 matches you might accidentally do a reflector. That's bad. He's got a few normals that I wouldn't use. Like his back heavy kick has a back hitbox before the front one comes out, which is really weird in this game. Because you auto flip. There's not a lot of I don't know when you would know you were getting crossed up, and so use a back heavy kick. I don't know. I don't really see it ever being useful. But that's how it goes. Okay, Rugal, you have one move that's not useful. You're gonna be fine. Okay, in the top spot is this absolute angel of a character, Nagaruru, who is the most broken character I maybe have seen in any fighting game that I've ever played. Because we discussed, this isn't necessarily a huge survey of fighting games. But let me tell you about this bird this lady's got. So all you have to do is you press down back A and it's bird time, and you can fly away. You can fly away for about 10 seconds. Then you just fly right off the screen. And then from bird, you have 3 different things you can do. You can just get off normally. You can get off attacking downwards. Getting off normally, you maintain your air momentum, and then you can also dash attack. So you can choose where you get down, because the dash attack comes out at a 40. It's like a dive kick. It comes out like a 45-degree angle, so you can decide where to fall, and then you can immediately land and go back into the bird and fly away. So it's like infinite timeout. You could easily, with this character, get up one hit, then just fly off screen. But it doesn't stop there. She has a safe on block full screen dash attack that does a third of your life bar. She just flies across the screen with a knife. She knifes you and disappears into the sky. It's ridiculous. It's very silly. She's got a safe projectile as well. Like, spam it. Don't even worry. She has the best aerials in the whole game, I'd say. Big legs, big hitting, good damage. Beyond just like the aerials themselves being good, she has like perfect air mobility, right? She just hovers, calls up that bird, and she's just moving wherever she wants to be. You can attack from any direction in the aerial game, right? The aerial game in this I don't think is quite that strong, but if you can dominate the sky, you can dominate the sky. And then beyond that, she just has really good mobility. She's fast on the ground. She's moving around. She's moving. She's got a really good wall jump. Not a lot of characters in the game have wall jumps. And just get out of trouble whenever starting to back her down. The only down point that she has is she has like the low life bar. I don't know the exact number on the stats, but oh hey, it's Ridge Racer music. But she's like one of the softer characters, sure. But you shouldn't be getting hit because you have a full screen dash attack that does 1/3 life bar, and you can fly away on a bird at any point. Right? You just disappear. It's goofy. It's a goofy character. Anyways, that's my tier list for King of Fighters 95 for the Game Boy. Let me know if you got it. Any thoughts or any feedback? There's definitely some stuff like in the C tier that I could see these guys switching places, or you know, maybe have Kim move up from C to B or whatnot. I feel like there's a noticeable difference between Iori and Kim in terms of like damage output and the success of the game plan. That I would say is, you know, C and B, but I could see those moving. But yeah. Anyways, I had a ton of fun playing King of Fighters 95 for the Game Boy. I was really surprised by how enjoyable and playable this game is. It's smooth, the inputs are good. You know, there's like an input timing window for everything, but like after playing for a little bit, I just figured it out. Yeah, there's a little bit of jank with the D-pad, but for the most part, like it's just a fun, easy playing game. I think it looks good. Like one of the things I was surprised is just how like, you know, readable the screen is, so to speak, right? You look at that and you know what's happened. You know where all your kicks go, and you know where the projectile's flying, right? You know where the characters are on the screen. All your bars and gauges and the timer, it's all there. You know, it's definitely not suffering from only being able to draw 4 colors at a time.